We have discovered that the sugar industry has been hiding something for the better part of 40, 50 years. Back in the 60s, the sugar industry paid a couple of scientists 50 grand in today's money to come up with a review of sugar, fat, and heart disease. Because there was starting to become, some evidence was starting to come out that sugar actually increases, high sugar diets increase your risk of dying of heart disease. And they had to put a stop to that, right? And so they said, no, high sugar diets, no, it's not sugar, it's fat. Got to be fat. Fats are causing heart disease, right? Deposits inside the arteries and everything. Well, now we know that actually the deposits inside the arteries aren't, or worse, we think we know. I mean, all of this stuff, this science is continually changing, in part because so much of it is funded by industry or by companies that make pills that suppress cholesterol or change fat levels in the body, or alter blood pressure or whatever. But we used to think, hey, those cholesterol plaques in the arteries mean high cholesterol is causing that, therefore let's suppress high cholesterol. Well, we've got drugs that suppress high cholesterol very effectively, but they don't actually increase survival. Or at least from the studies that I've read, they don't increase the probability of survival. And or maybe they do, but only in very specific cases. And it turns out that inflammation is probably the big thing that's causing these plaque buildups. And what produces inflammation? Well, one of the main things is a high sugar diet. It's an inflammatory diet. It's a diet designed to make you feel inflamed, right? Or to produce inflammation in the body, which is not good. I mean, a lot of inflammation, or a lot of cancers are, start as inflammation. The cancers that particularly, like the stuff associated with the human papilloma virus, the genital warts virus that causes throat cancer and anal cancer and things like that. These are just, this virus just produces a long-term irritation, and boom, you get cancer. And cervical cancer as well. But here we find, this is in the New York Times, Anna had O'Connor from yesterday, from September 12th, or day before yesterday. Yeah, day before. The internal sugar industry documents recently discovered by a researcher at the University of California, San Francisco, and published Monday in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Internal Medicine Journal suggested that 5 decades of research into the role of nutrition in heart disease, including many of today's dietary recommendations, may have been largely shaped by the sugar industry. Now, I have some personal knowledge of this. Back in the early 70s, when I was a partner with Terry O'Connor in his ad agency, Terra Graphics, I did a lot of writing for copywriting. My 2 things in the ad agency at that time were copywriting and sales. And Terry was an absolutely brilliant artist. Terry died last year of mesothelioma. And another great tragedy. He had worked in the factories in Michigan as a young man going to college, and there was just asbestos all over the place and those things. But in any case, one of our largest clients was one of the nation's largest breakfast cereal manufacturers. And I wrote this 24-page booklet called Sugar, the Essential Nutrient, based on this research, talking about how important sugar is to you, that this breakfast cereal company printed millions, tens of millions of copies of it. They sent out to school children all across America. To this day, I think I'm, every time I get an ache or pain, I think, okay, that's my karma, from that one. Also in this article by Anand O'Connor, he or she notes, last year, an article in the New York Times revealed that Coca-Cola, the world's largest producer of sugary beverages, had provided millions of dollars in funding to researchers who sought to play down the link between sugary drinks and obesity. In June, the Associated Press reported that candy makers were funding studies that claimed that children who eat candy tend to weigh less than those who don't. And, for many decades, health officials encouraged Americans to reduce their fat intake, which led many people to consume low-fat but high-sugar foods. This is basically what the companies did, is they replaced the fat with sugar. And many experts now blame that for fueling the obesity crisis. Dr. Walter Willett, chairman of the nutrition department at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, said, and I think this is the bottom line of the whole thing, He said, why research, these industry papers are a reminder of why research should be supported by public funding rather than depending on industry funding. Do I hear an amen? Oh, the Republicans hate public funding, sorry.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
In libertarian Republican world, all scientific research should be done by somebody who wants to make a buck off it, right? Isn't that wonderful?